welcome to yet another episode of the Silver and Black Coffee Hour. My name is Tom Petrini. I'm here with my friends Aaron Blackerby. Aaron, how you doing?
Doing great, man. What was looking like a rough week turned out to be pretty good. Some building blocks.
Sandpaper, smooth it out. Zach, how about you?
Little bumps on the road, but hey, it's all good. Fox is back. Wemby's good. Everyone's rolling, and we beat the Rockets. So you're never going to hear me mad about a week that we saw.
I mean, we didn't beat the Rockets.
No,
none of us were involved.
If you were in my living room, you would think I was part of the team. So
okay,
yeah,
cool.
I beat the Rockets as well.
Something that we did do this week, though, that is just as big, if not bigger, on a program level for us. We had the biggest interview we've done yet. You might say it's the most important interview we've ever written.
Facts.
Definitely.
We should have that one edited and out for you very soon, but
It'll be next week for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be next week.
Yeah, very.
No more hints.
No more hints. No more hints.
In the meantime, if you want to see what that interview is and keep up with us, like and subscribe, comment. You'll see one of the things we're trying to do this season is questions you put in the comments. We want to answer them on the next show. And Phoenix Kane, we got your question for this week, so thank you very much for that.
Number one comment.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Yeah,
the
Phoenix
best commenter
is the A1 day one of our YouTube commenters. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple, please rate and review. 5 stars also really helps for trying to get our numbers up over there.
Yeah, we hit that 1,000. We're monetized, guys. What are you doing with your 1/3 of the $9.92 that we've generated so far?
I guess I'll get a Snickers bar. I think that's all I can afford.
Hell yeah! What about you?
Are Snickers still affordable?
With $3, I hope I could get that.
I'm a Reese's guy, and we're in their winter recipe time, so I will be looking at the Reese's family of products. Probably a fast break. I think that's a really great candy bar.
I'm an Almond Joy guy, and it pisses me off to no end that it's got a cousin called Mounds that has no mounds in it because there's no almonds. It's confusing. Figure it out, Hershey Chocolate Company. But anyway, what else is happening? Oh yeah, Props A and B move forward in Bexar County and San Antonio. Project Marvel moving forward. Spurs set to move back to downtown San Antonio in 2032. This was obviously very contentious, but it seemed like Spurs fans and citizens of San Antonio made their voice heard that they want the Spurs back home in a downtown entertainment district.
Quick side note: I was at the watch party for the Spurs on Tuesday. They were giving away free drinks, free food. Peter J. Holt was up there getting everyone pumped up, and I will say, Peter J. Holt and I are now best friends based off the dap that I had with him and the hug. You can't replicate that. That's my guy.
Well, remember the little people when you start elevating your social circles.
Yeah, Sorry, guys.
Just
hanging out with the owner these days.
They just let me borrow the whip.
I got you.
Yeah, and then,
I don't need a Billy. I'll take a Millie.
Okay,
right.
Fair.
Yeah, we're cheap.
We're cheap. Yeah, just a milli.
Everybody's got a price, and mine is low.
Only $1 million.
But other Spurs news for the week that happened in this Suns game that we're going to start with. Dylan Harper strained his calf.
Thank God that's all it is.
And out for a couple weeks. The least fun part of this Suns game, but boy did we have some choices because it was a not fun Suns game.
Yeah, this game sucked.
Yeah.
Like this felt a regression on the Spurs part. Definitely Wemby's worst game of the season so far. Didn't even eclipse double in points here. Dylan Harper kind of seemed to be the only one before he got hurt that came to the party to want to work well with them. And look, the Suns got hot from 3 and
that's
scorching hot. I think at one point they were 75% in the first half, and it was just like, yeah, like what are you gonna do? It was very much like a somebody get Jeremy Sohan out there. Like, somebody help with perimeter defense. And this is kind of something we saw happen a bit in the Nets game. So this is something I'm going to be watching for the Spurs as they continue. But yeah, it was not a fun game to watch. If I could give any type of star player, I mean, Stephon Castle a little bit, but I think this was the beginning of the week where there was some real worries about what the hell is going on? Was that all snake oil? And frankly, we're gonna have these games. This is like true young team shit here. So it's pretty normal to have kind of a regression like that. Only then, can't say it really got better in the next game. Zach, what do you got on that Lakers game?
Well, I got to keep it PG. I don't want to.
You actually don't. That's why Jeff Garcia always, every time before he has one of us on, he's like, "Hey, like you can't say shit."
Well, no,
we can say shit.
I'm going to say a lot of shit right now.
There you go. We're already in PG-13 territory.
If you look at the box score, it's a very even box score. And even the final score of the game was a 2-point difference. So this was if you look at the box score, it was an entertaining game. These teams were back and forth. False. This was quite possibly the worst basketball game I have ever laid my eyes on. And it's not because the teams played horribly. It's because the refs made about them. A Luka Wemby matchup should never have those two guys in foul trouble the whole game, and both of them were in foul trouble. Luka was flirting around with 6. Wemby got his 6. It was 84 free throws combined. We stayed up late to watch a free throw contest
on a weeknight.
On a late start. I didn't go to bed till 12:45 because of this damn game.
And then you're all pissed off trying to go to bed.
Yeah, and so
that sucks.
My interesting stat of the night is 84 free throws were attended, and my stars of the game were the fucking refs. So good job, guys. You made it about yourself. We're really proud of you.
Only keeping one F word in there kept that at PG-13.
There you go. So
I was going to say.
Really proud of you guys. I hope you left, and I hope Adam Silver gave you a call and said, don't ever do that again.
Dude, I'll tell you something funny. So, I went to a show that night, and I was watching the replay, like, after I got home from the show, because it was late, and I was like, I went and saw Geese. I had a great time there.
Ruined your night.
Well, no, it didn't ruin my night, because, like, I got on the internet before on the way going home. I was like, oh, this is still going on.
And, like 4 hours later.
Yeah. Funny enough, also, complete other side story to this side story. Kevin Parker from Tame Impala and his entire band was standing behind me the entire show. I think because I didn't bother him, he, like, didn't move, but he definitely got recognized near the end of that show. But, shout out to you, Kevin Parker. But more, shout out to Geese. You guys rule. Anyway, as I'm watching the replay, and anytime I watch replays, one of the things I personally do is I fast forward through free throws because I'm like, this isn't usually like the story of the game, and I can kind of, find that out in the box score afterwards. It's like I'm trying to move through. And because there were 84 free throws, I got into the muscle memory of like, okay, another And so I actually ended watching the game at 1 o'clock in the morning, though. So it wasn't that far off from it. And I was like, what the? I don't feel like I actually watched any basketball.
There was no basketball being played.
Yeah, it was a...
But we can move forward to the actual fun part of the week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moving forward. Man, Friday night NBA Cup game.
Court was awesome.
The cup.
Which the Spurs did respect the cup at the end of this game, I gotta say. Rockets came into town. This was, I told y'all last week, this was the game that I was particularly concerned about. And look, the beginning of the game, despite Alperen Şengün's sharp elbows, Amen Thompson deciding to go scorched earth from 3 at the beginning of the game. And we're going up against a team that prides itself on physicality and offensive rebounds. We came out on top. We held Steven Adams below his offensive rebounding average. Keldon Johnson led the team with 5 total offensive rebounds. And kind of one of the things that was the story of this game, Zach, from the Lakers game was Julian Champagnie missed both of those free throws at the end of the game to tie it, to bring it in. He came out ready to shoot, and Julian Champagnie, shooters shoot, and we love you for it, man. Went 6 of 13 from 3. Harrison Barnes found his stroke from beyond the arc as well. And, Ime Udoka after this game said that his team got punked by the Spurs. And so to see this team basically really take it to them was awesome. And I got to shout out Dan Weiss on the interesting stat from this game, his own Danalytics. First time in Spurs franchise history, 2 Spurs in one game have made 6 threes together. The other interesting stat here, we went up against the team that has been known for historical offensive rebounding. Keldon Johnson led the entire game with 5 offensive rebounds. And, I was at this game, y'all, and the way the way they boxed out Steven Adams was not boxing out. When the ball went up, they turned their chest forward into him. They were not boxing out with their body. They were like, I am going to, hit you.
Move you.
Yeah, and they
took
did.
some folding chairs from the sideline and just started hitting him.
Mark
on the
Henry was
chest
there,
with
so
it,
they borrowed a chair from him.
I mean, Alperen Şengün was flopping like he got hit by a chair in that game too. So, and then Wemby, look, we think he kind of figured some things out in that game, specifically in that zone. And there was a part in that game where he split that zone, and I was sitting there watching the game. I was like, well, he just figured this out. And he was moving it a lot faster in that game. So
10
that was
points
great.
in the fourth for him as well.
Yep. And then Tom, you were at the game last night against the Pels.
Yes.
The back-to-back.
The back-to-back, say goodbye Duke. It's when we previewed this game last week, it was like, man, would really like for Victor Wembanyama to be in an ice bath by midway through the third quarter of this one. Would really like to rip off the wings of the Pelicans and then beat them with them. And that is not what happened in this game. I did not like that the Spurs were in crunch time with the hospital Pelicans. But, again, second night of back-to-back, this Pelicans team is frustrated and hungry and wanting to dispel some this is the worst team in the NBA talk, right? De'Aaron Fox, more importantly, made his return. Nothing in the first quarter, scoring-wise. He hit his first shot of the season to break a 32-32 tie. There were about 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter. It was a step-back 3. He made like an acre of space for himself because he was like, I'm driving, no I'm not. And the defender was like, ah! And so he was wide open. If you had left your finger on the fast forward button for 3.5 minutes of game time, you would have looked up and seen De'Aaron Fox with 15 points and the Spurs with a 16-point lead. And after the game, the first question was sort of about shaking off rust, and then I asked him if it felt rustless for that stretch, and he just looks at me and goes, "Well, I'm good at basketball, so." And I'm like, yes, you are. And he talked further, he didn't just leave it there, right? He added a little more nuance and seriousness where he was talking about, wanting to establish his own flow and not impede anybody else's flow. Anytime you're integrating a big piece like that is very important. And then end of the game, once you're in crunch time with the hospital Pelicans, he's the guy that comes in, hits the shot that wins the game, and, really, really great game from Fox. Also in this game, Stephon Castle, 14 assists, 7 in the first quarter, which the Spurs, Jordan Howenstein noted was the most assists in a quarter for any player in the NBA this season.
Nice.
And only 3 Spurs have ever done 8. So very, very cool for Steph Castle, who has 27 assists in the last 2 games.
Only 27.
Yeah.
Casual.
Not too bad, right? Limiting the turnovers as well. And Mitch basically said he's hitting a lot of singles. He's making the simple play, the regular read. And Fox basically said, when you're young and the game's moving fast, there are a lot of simple things that are right there for you that you may not even see because you're so sped up. And so Steph talked about, working with coach and understanding that teams are sort of reading his eyes and his reads. and understanding the play that he's about to make. So simultaneously working on that part, being a little less predictable, and also making just the right play. Wemby. Haven't mentioned Wemby yet. That's because he had
an interesting week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a lowly pedestrian. No, I'm kidding. I didn't mean it. He had 18 points, 18 boards, 3 assists, 3 blocks, and in a vacuum for most NBA players, you're like, that was a good game.
Right.
And for Wemby, you're like I feel like that scene in The Incredibles where the kid's on the tricycle in the driveway after he's seen Bob pick up his car, and he's just sitting there, and Bob's like, "What are you waiting for?" And the kid's like, "I don't know, something amazing, I guess." Like, I feel like the kid on the tricycle where it's like, yeah, 18 points, 18 rebounds, but like, when are you going to do something crazy?
I feel like his 18 points were loud, though. He had a lot of
They were.
dunks. He had some good alley-oops. He had to get in the lane, so...
And
Well, the fun thing about that, too, is he started shooting the 3 again.
yes.
Which I don't care that it's missing right now. I'm just glad that he's incorporating that back into his game. I think
Yes.
that's really
I
important.
think it has to do with the way defenses are playing with him now.
Yeah, of course.
So it's just to make him honest, keep him honest.
Yeah.
Is something Mitch talked about last night. He was like, I thought he took a lot of shots that were good shots that I thought were going in. I know a lot of those shots are going to go in. I want him to keep taking those shots.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good quote about like, yeah, he shoots a bunch of threes. People say get closer. He gets closer. People say why isn't he shooting a three? He just needs to let the game come to
They're
him and
different
do whatever.
contingencies, Coach Johnson.
For sure. For
but
sure.
I understand. Sometimes in the vacuum of the internet, it all feels
Right.
like one voice.
It also makes me wonder, Mitch, are you lurking on Twitter? Because don't do that. It's not good for your mentals. You got more important shit to be doing than playing around in the mud with
Well,
us.
AB did accuse Wemby of watching the show earlier this week, too, so...
J'accuse.
I mean,
Throwing
he
accusations
literally he did literally say something I brought up last week.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I don't think I've ever beaten Luka," and I was like, "I said this on Sunday." Like,
He's watching.
The thing is, I've got to give Wemby.
I don't think he's watching it,
Right.
but I wouldn't be surprised if someone else is watching it and was like,
Yeah.
Go beat him.
But also, I wouldn't be surprised if that's just something he knows because every time he plays Luka, he's like, man, I want to beat this guy, and he hasn't done it yet.
"Don't worry, later in the show, I got more bulletin board material from Wemby."
Ooh,
So,
there we
okay.
but
We need to have you in his camp.
I mean, I think we vibe pretty well.
The last thing I want to say about Wemby in this game, and really in this week, and it's something that when I asked Mitch about, like, this isn't like his absolute world-beating best, right? What's going into that?
Yeah.
And he was basically like, even though he's not doing like crazy box scores by his standards, the amount of like hockey assists and the amount of nopes where somebody just dribbles into the lane and says forget about it, and the amount of times where the sheer gravity that he has opened things up for his teammates. 8 Spurs in double figures last night, balanced attack going off of that.
Dude,
so.
Derek Queen had a great game last night, but to your point on that nopes, there was a point where he got the ball, turned around, Wemby was right in his face. He literally walked back out to the 3-point line with the ball. He's like, reset.
Full
deep,
180.
deep in that fourth quarter, there was 2 nopes. Tari Eason was on a fast break, and he looked up, and Wemby was eyes. He's like, oh no, we're kicking this out. And then Amin Thompson, with 2 minutes to go, had a backdoor cut, and Wemby was in the middle of the lane. And
He Ben Simmons.
he said, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was. The cool thing about the wins, I would say, especially with Wemby, is the concerns we had in the Phoenix game and the Lakers game was the hesitation. He was kind of playing to like see what other people were doing, and then there's this weird, tension basically of like, we're reading off what you're doing, Wemby,
Right.
and he's like, well, I'm reading off what y'all are doing, and no one's doing anything. And in this, the big difference, and one of the things that I kind of keep going back to, honestly, the initial silver and black scrimmage, is his reaction time, his time of like, he kind of, he knew his own teammates of like when to move, how quickly. And that's kind of the thing, speaking to his gravity, Tom, that I think he has to get in his head is that You create gravity off the ball. You create gravity on the ball. You also create gravity when you move quickly with the ball. And so he had a lot of quick, like, oh, I can already tell this peripheral defender's coming here. Tap out on there. Oh, this guy's coming here. I'm ready to go to the lane. And so I saw a lot more of him feeling comfortable and like, you be the initiator of this. Don't wait for anyone.
Well, he said experience was what, this is new to him. And
Yeah.
experience is the only way he's going to get better. And so you have to see these defenses before you know how to beat them, right? You can see all the film, but once you start getting in your face, like, okay, I understand how this is operating. And so experience is key, and he said that.
Yeah, man. I mean, that Phoenix game specifically, where they're like, they rotated a different guy on him. So it wasn't, and I thought that was a great defensive strategy against him because it's like, you don't get a chance to be like, oh, Grayson Allen's on me now. Okay, Grayson Allen's on me. He did this the last time down. Now I know what to do. Instead, it was like, oh, it's Grayson Allen. Oh, it's Royce O'Neal. Oh, it's Mark Williams. So very fascinating to see how he came through with this. Do you guys mind if I transition now, though, to our newest segment?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Well,
It's gonna be a little tough, but
We'll eat it. We'll
Look.
figure it out.
look,
Take it on the
here at Silver and Black Coffee Hour Enterprises, we decide to do things a little differently. We're here trying to help build a fan community. We're looking at ways to bridge, various Spurs fandom from across the globe.
relationship of trust.
Relationship
Right.
of trust. And in that communal mindset, one of the things that we've come to discuss at one of our many board meetings at, once again, Silver and Black Coffee Hour Enterprises is accountability. And thankfully today, I have two of my accountability buddies, Tom Petrini and Zach Montana. I'd like to think I'm y'all's as well.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, yeah. And look, we've gotten some things wrong early in the season, and I want to state what I got wrong. I want to be held accountable for it, and I'll go first.
Get it off your chest.
Man,
It's weighing on you.
yo, I got something really wrong. My ass stood on business of saying Wemby will never foul out again this season. Well, I was wrong. In that Lakers game, a week later, he fouled out. And, I'm not happy about it. But to Zach's point, they decided to make a nationally televised game about the refs. And, I had that. I also had this week's, record wrong. I was at 3-1 and, came out of it 2-2. So,
I had him at 4-0 because I haven't
were-
seen him lose this year.
You were riding high.
Make him hit that shot.
That's fair.
Make
That's
him
fair.
prove they can hit that
Right.
shot before I start defending it. Okay.
hold on. Do you guys accept my...
We accept it.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Okay.
good. You're all
Okay.
good on our
Yeah.
end. You're
Okay,
all good
cool.
on our end.
I
Don't
just
worry.
think that's...
You don't have to let it eat you up anymore. You're good.
I appreciate
Been
that. I
losing
think
sleep.
part of this accountability is like making sure that you guys accept it, and then
We're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, so mine. Here's the thing: if you're an NBA team, you absolutely cannot overlook your opponent any night. As an NBA podcaster, I can, and I did, and I overlooked the Phoenix Suns, who were the 29th best defense in the NBA. And then they decided to play defense on Victor Wembanyama that looked more like a horde of millions of locusts than anything I've seen
Good comparison.
on a basketball court. It was ridiculous. Obviously, they shot the lights out, but it was the effort level and the defense that the basketball gods were rewarding them in terms of made 3-point baskets, right? The basketball gods were pleased by the Suns' offering in that game, and they were clearly displeased with the Spurs, and I think that's rightfully so. And it's a good reminder that even in those TCOB games, take care of business. You're playing against talented and motivated, targeting you, NBA players. Again, not me. I'm just a podcaster. So I will continue to overlook some teams, probably. But the Spurs who are watching this, you guys can't. You guys can't do that anymore.
Because you're making my boy Tom had to apologize.
Right. And I'm not perfect, but I am pretty good and experienced at apologizing.
Usually means you're not perfect.
And so I'm sorry. And I mean that truly from the bottom of my soul. So, yeah.
Hey, I accept it.
It's okay.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry about it.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry about it.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, Zach. You got anything to say to your accountability buddies?
Yeah, I came on this podcast multiple times and was like, Wemby's going to be stroking it from three. He's not even taking threes pregame because he's so comfortable with these threes. Well, 23.5% three-point percentage later, we're going to need that, take some accountability and say, we're going to need to bump that up just a tad bit. I know you got it because I know last year Wemby started off slow from three and then cranked it up in November and December. I'm expecting the same response from him, but right now I got to eat it because it hasn't looked too great from three. Everything else looked fantastic, but the three-point percentage, up a little bit.
Let's get those numbers up.
Just a tad. That's all I'm asking.
And especially the way that defenses are,
Gotta play
playing like biblical plagues against him,
Right.
Right? Like you've got they're gonna double Victor Wembanyama pretty much every time he steps inside the 3-point line. Whether he's got the ball or not, they're gonna shade that way, right? And so, nine 3-point attempts in that Pelicans game. Only hit 2, but you want to see him taking them. When he's taking them, he's gonna be making them.
Right. He needs to get in rhythm. He hadn't taken 9 all season. I feel like he started off slow from 3. He just needs to get that rhythm. And also on top of it, I think Victor shoots the 3 better the further out he gets. So take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
And I think.
And I'll take 2 steps back and say I messed up, but it won't happen again because I know Vic's got my back.
It's okay. You're good, bro.
It's all good.
I think you fell victim to a very easy thing.
Yeah, I did.
Which is overconfidence in Victor Wembanyama.
Wouldn't be the first one.
Won't
be the last time either.
I think at a certain point we can kind of take for granted a little bit already, his skill level and talent.
As a certain someone that we had on a certain podcast that I will not mention a certain name said that if you hear that Wemby dunked from the 3-point line, you wouldn't be shocked.
Yes.
So this is the way it works sometimes.
That's true. That's true. Well, guys, I feel
You feel better?
good that we did this and that we held ourselves to account. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, high praise. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to High Praise. This is the part of the podcast where we say a bunch of positive shit about the Spurs. And there's actually a lot of positive stuff to say already. And Zach, I see you chomping at the bit, much like the person you want to give high praise to, someone who we maybe thought was biting the sleeves off of his undershirt.
He was barking at the game I was at too in the locker room after the game, so I can confirm.
He genuinely barks a lot. So who's your high praise for?
Isn't it obvious?
It's
Yeah.
Keldon. You should have known when I was barking. You should have known I said who he was barking. It's Keldon Johnson.
I was in the post game last night, and when you're in that room and you're getting ready, there's always you
noise.
always hear yelling, and it's always Keldon Johnson.
You know it's him.
Yeah.
You just know it's him. It's Keldon Johnson. Last night had no rebounds going into halftime. 8 in the second half. Also second in the team in offensive rebounds. He's been an absolute animal on the offensive glass. I know we mentioned it last week, and we'll keep talking about it as long as he's performing the way he's performing. His points are down, but his rebounds are up. He understands his role in this team, and if he wants to keep being an absolute animal down low, and you want to put a guy that weighs 20 pounds more than him, no problem. A guy who weighs 30 pounds less than him, really no problem. Last night, he went at Derek Queen multiple times. Just got the ball and just went at him. And so you're just like, okay, and that guy's got a lot of weight on him. So Keldon Johnson, dog mentality. He is an absolute dog, and I think we've heard the way the team talks about him. Dylan Harper has said that he's a dog post-game. The team goes as he goes. He's one of those glue guys that's like, if Keldon's being a dog, everybody else is going to be a dog and fall behind.
Some people are saying he's been the most consistent Spur of the season so far.
Yeah.
In
Some
his role,
people.
in his role,
In
yes,
his role, absolutely.
1,000%.
He believes that big body shit, He's 6'5", it does not matter.
Who gives a shit?
He is out there. He will throw his big body, even though it's not big by NBA standards, into those big NBA guys, and just like he's coming down with the ball because he wants it more. Like wants it more is such a often incorrect sports cliche. Keldon Johnson actually wants it more.
His rebound numbers are split even. 2.6 rebounds, offensive rebounds a game, 2.7 defensive rebounds a game. So he just is finding his role and being a dog.
Well, can I piggyback off that into my high praise
Go for it.
here? So mine goes to the coaching staff. And I do want to talk about this rebounding situation here because very interesting stat, fellas. We are currently number 1 in the league in offensive rebounding, ahead of the Houston Rockets now. And what's fascinating to me about that is we see Keldon was leading the charge of the offensive rebounds. We've seen Dylan Harper do it. We see Stephon Castle do it. I think those are kind of the main culprits of it.
Luke Cornett, don't forget him.
Well, he only played in 2
Right.
games, but still. But what they're doing is they're coming off the weak side, and they're not. I don't think they're actually reading the ball. I think they are reading the person who is going to get the rebound and coming for them, is the way I see the way that they're attacking it. If you look at that Houston game in particular, the way Keldon is always kind of sneaking through the baseline off the wing or from the corner in, pretty fascinating stuff from there. So I want to shout out Corliss Williamson there. I want to shout out Sean Sweeney deciding to do something I've yet to see Vic do before, and that's double. And it's a very interesting tactic that they brought out against Alperen Şengün, especially when he got in the corner. They did it again with Derek Queen last night. And they're not doing it every time, but it's definitely like, I want the ball now. Just go get it. It's in
It's
some
like
ways,
Slender Man is scary enough.
yeah.
When he's running at you, that's an entirely different thing.
But the thing is too is that Vic is so he's gotten one better at his communication, but he's also gotten better at recovery. So essentially, if he's coming and they get out of that, it's like one step back and he's back in the paint. Like it's not too much on his body there. I also want to give a shout out to Jimmy Barron, shooting coach. Right now, the Spurs, we are sitting at 76% at the beginning of the season, but in the last 5 games, we've jumped up to 81%. I want to give a shout out to the shooting coach there, especially the last 2 games, 90 plus on free throw percentage. Stephon Castle, you're doing your job hitting those, and we're really appreciative of that. And then just to give that in perspective, if we shoot at 81%, we're top 10 in the league in free throw percentage. If we're shooting at 76, we're around 23, 24. So there's a huge difference here. And we've already seen that with the team, that there are numerous points that we've left on the board for games in the beginning of the season. So I want to shout out them, and then obviously shout out Coach Mitch. He is, the one managing through all this, and I think he's been doing a great job, especially when we saw the beginning of the week be pretty tough. They made adjustments. They have adjusted. They are coaching the team, and they're not, we love Coach Pop and everything. One of the things Coach Pop was more about was like kind of fighting through things, and I don't think these guys are not about fighting through things, but it's just a different NBA now, and they are making adjustments quickly. I love to see that, so I want to shout out the coaching staff. Tom, what do you got?
I got a guy who has not been mentioned a ton in really much discussion about this team. We talk about Wemby, we talk about Fox coming back, Dylan Harper, fantastic, Steph Castle, really good but some rough edges, Keldon Johnson being a dog, Luke Cornett, so excited he's here. But Devin Vassell, man, he's just sort of quietly doing his job at a rate that an efficiency that I think will improve, but he just seems to be there all the time when you need a big shot. He's averaging 15 a game, shooting 37% from three. Just steady. He's got multiple threes in all but 2 games this season. Not a ton of recognition because like he's not blowing up the box score, right? But he's there for big shots when they matter. He's a steady hand. He's doing what he needs to, and I think he's primed to do even more with Fox back.
Very active defender, been jumping passing lanes, been really paramount in the turnover battles in these games.
8 points in the fourth quarter as well last night.
And that's why they drafted him, was to be, 3-and-D, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, we've seen him expand his game. He's decent off the dribble. He can get to his spots, right? He's got pop. And now that his role is sort of simplified, I think that's the cool thing for Keldon and for Devin and for a lot of these guys is that when you have a Fox-Wemby pairing to build everything around, your job gets simpler, right? And so with sort of the simplification of Devin Vassell's job, he's doing it very well, and he's able to lock in even more on that defensive
Well,
end.
you were at the game last night, so you didn't get to see the TV broadcast, but there was a cut timeout. New Orleans called timeout. De'Aaron Fox walked right to Devin Vassell after one of the threes and said, like, just clearly talking to him, like, this is your role. Like, this is what we want from you. And he's also, to piggyback off that, he's the highest plus-minus on the team with 11. In front of Wemby, in front of De'Aaron Fox, in front of Dylan Harper, in front of all these guys that have made plays. So he's doing what he's supposed to be doing and fitting into his role. And I love to see that with Devin.
Love to see it. Well, let's hop into questions for the week. I alluded to it earlier in the show, but our first one is from Phoenix Kane. Shout out to you, Phoenix. Keep dropping questions there on YouTube. And he asked in our last episode comment section, where do you see Mitch's influence on the court the most? Zach, I'll let you kick this off.
I like the pace. I think every time it's always fun when the Spurs are on defense on their side of the court and they get a rebound or they get a turnover and you see Mitch Johnson like he's waving someone home. Get your ass going. We got places to be and points to score. They're also 6th in the league in fast break points a game. So they're moving and they're getting going, and I think that's you would think with a Wemby-led team, they're going to slow the pace down and we're getting rebounds and going. And De'Aaron Fox made a comment last night saying, it makes my job easier. People get rebounds and we go.
Well, it's interesting about pace because, like, on a possession-by-possession basis, I think we're like around 99 possessions a game. Mm-hmm. Just to give a, that's like in the lower half of the league. And during the Tim Duncan era, that was 90 possessions. Mm-hmm. So we are playing, but it's a very interesting contrast with, like you said, we are when the break's there, it's go, and there's a lot of great finishing.
There's no like, of course, if they score a basket, we'll get in our half court set. Yep. But if we're not going to let a team get their half court defense, and we don't need to, and let's just get the rebound, let's get the turnover, and let's push. And I honestly, it's been great to see, and you could tell these young players are really enjoying that type of mindset on the defensive end that leads to offenses. They're like, okay, we're just going to be aggressive light our hair on fire and let's just go find this ball and go score. And then I know it sounds a very simplistic way to look at it, but yeah, it's either we either get a turnover, rebound, and we're going, or let's set up and get a good look.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. What do you got, Tom?
I mean, the late game adjustments, the strategy stuff, the chess match of it all, I think is really, really fascinating when you're a coach like Greg Popovich, who's been there for almost 30 years, and you're really focused on your own process and what your own team is doing. He left the scouting of opponents and the strategizing basically to his assistants in a lot of cases, and so Mitch, like, I kind of saw it when I asked him a question pregame for the Heat game, just about their, push the pace, don't run anything, just run offensive style. And he had a really detailed and nuanced response to the question, and part of me asking the question was to see if he did the Popovich I haven't watched him thing, and he didn't. And when you're first year head coach looking to prove yourself, you got to be on those P's and Q's. You got to be on the details, and it's something that everybody in that locker room that I've talked to about it has talked about is the attention to detail, the amount of time they spend on the little things. And yeah, just you can tell that we see it with Wemby, and the team's a reflection of Wemby. But a lot of these games, it kind of feels like he's doing the boxer feeling out his opponents thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on a coaching level, Mitch is doing the same thing. Identifying their weaknesses, a little bit of art of war, and then when it gets to winning time, figuring out, okay, this is how we're going to kill you.
Yeah,
So,
I'd agree.
yeah.
For me, it's the physicality with this team. Harrison Barnes brought it up after the Rockets game, and he's like, I don't think I've had 10 fouls in 2 games in my entire career. And Coach Johnson, when they're coming back to the bench, he's like, keep going, keep hitting them. And, Wemby has followed through on what his coach is telling him. And, I mean, he has fouled out in 2 games and gotten in foul trouble and a few others. That Rockets game, he got to 5, there as well. But, shout out to the Amazon executives who called and said, we're not making this about the refs on this national broadcast. We're not ESPN.
Bezos made the boss call.
But I think that's where I've definitely seen more of his presence on the team is about remaining consistent to the physicality and establishing their presence on the court. Question, fellas. With Wemby's struggles this last week, what are some of the ways you would look to free him up more on offense? We're going to do a little role play here. If you're Coach Mitch Johnson, what are you doing?
I'm spamming high pick and roll. Obviously, you got to manage wear and tear on Wemby, but at this point, I think he's getting beat up more when he tries to establish post position and gives you were talking earlier about gravity with motion, right? If you're a stationary object with a ton of gravity, it gives everything that's getting sucked to you time to get there and prepare for you, right? Especially with De'Aaron Fox back. You spread the floor, you have Wemby set a screen about 35 feet from the basket, and you have De'Aaron Fox run around that screen, preferably to his left, but he can go whichever way he wants. And then you just let that destructive force wreak havoc on the defense. Last year, De'Aaron Fox was like, we expect this to be the best pick and roll in the league. And you need to pursue that. You can unleash the most screwed up pick and roll possible. Need to do that, need to get him into space, and our team's going to pack the paint, yeah. Then De'Aaron Fox is going to have open shooters on the wing, and it's going to be fine. So that's sort of my main thing.
Well, I have a rebuttal to that.
Okay.
So, yeah, De'Aaron Fox is definitely going to help with freeing up some more space. I think it is actually not so much about bringing in pick and roll and crowding up with one another as much as it is about getting more of a pure 5-out look for it and attacking the paint. To your point on the wings, which I'm really glad you said this, the Spurs right now on both corner threes are shooting 40+%. That's Julian Champagny and Harrison Barnes, where they're living at. We are shooting terrible from the top of the key. I believe right now we're at about something like 28% from the top of the key, which is bottom quarter of the league, and we're shooting about just below 35 or 34% on the left wing, and then about 32% on the right wing. So, Tom, to your point, I do think that the three-point shooting needs to improve from there, but those are the areas that when we can further create gravity from them away from the corner three. Because here's the other thing with the corner three, which is not a secret. It is closer to the basket. Mm-hmm. While it is a technically more efficient shot from a points per shot perspective, it is not necessarily a way to like further gravity. The way that we see a lot of defenses cheat that, which is why it's open. But for Wemby right now, I think in freeing him up, we've already seen the nail offense at the top of the key, which I really like. But further, let's get De'Aaron Fox a little more downhill. We saw it last night against Jeremiah Fears. I mean, I felt like I could see it on the broadcast. He was like, "Rookie, okay, I'm gonna cook him," and he's like, "Oh, big guy on me, I'm gonna cook him." Like he definitely had that mentality of like, I know where my strengths lie against each of these and could get into it. So, I want to see. It doesn't necessarily have to be more focus on the wings because like if you're not going to shoot well there, you're not going to shoot well there. But we do need to have a little more honesty from those problematic areas of the 3-point line.
Wavy, you touch on the nail, getting that top of the key, and JJ Redick made a great comment post game, saying that Mitch Johnson adjusted extremely well to the way the Lakers were playing him, and putting Wemby at the top of the key because it's a lot harder to double in that position and send somebody. You have more eyes on you, but you can also see the floor a lot better. And the Spurs got to that went to that again in the fourth quarter against the Rockets. Went to that, the Rockets were in the zone, and they had 3 straight possessions where they got buckets from Wemby being in that top of the key. They ran a pick and roll with Steph Castle. Steph rolled, kicked it out to the corner. Julian Shippen hit a 3. They did the exact same thing. Steph rolled, no one picked up Steph, easy dunk. Then Wemby gets in the lane, does a Euro step around Steven Adams. You're like, okay, that was when they kind of like, okay, I think they figured it out. So I think that is sort of the answer to the question is the 5 out, space out the floor, let Wemby be able to, because I get what JJ Redick's saying is when you have on one side of the court, it's a lot closer to come double these guys. Whereas,
open up your periphery
exactly
there, because when you're on the block, on either side, you only have so much like room to make
or
so
angles to get passes.
Yeah.
And so I think we noticed a change. And I think after the Phoenix game, without Fox and without Dylan Harper, the Spurs had to adjust. And they had to say, we had to get Wemby into better spots, positions to succeed. The first half of the Rockets game, they kept giving Wemby the ball at the very high, off, like behind the 3-point line and letting him try to facilitate. It's like, no, they're blitzing him. Let's make this a lot easier where they can't blitz from that far out and make this simplified for everybody. And I think they've sort of figured it out. And now with De'Aaron back, now you have options. Like you said, De'Aaron can attack, Wemby can attack, put them on the same side of the floor. They can attack. You can't double it. We saw it last night. They ran that where they doubled off Wemby. De'Aaron was right there, and the ball rotated back around. There's a lot of options to play off it. I think the Spurs were kind of had the hands tied behind their back this week for a few of the games without a point guard and having Wemby being like the main focal point. Well, now it's like throw De'Aaron in there, throw Dylan Harper in there, and really try to play those defenses to get the Spurs. You're not going to be able to succeed.
One thing I want to just bring up here, because we've talked about like adjustments, right? One thing that is just do it better, drill it until it's perfect, because it's going to happen all the time for hopefully the next like 15, 20 years, is teams are going to double Victor Wembanyama. You're going to need to play out of those double teams. You're going to need to kick it out and swing it to the open guy and punish teams for sending extra defenders at him. And there was a play that jumped out from last night's game. Shout out Lindy Waters III, who was in the corner.
Who's played great.
He's played great. He's a shooter. He's a smart guy, facilitator, unselfish player. And there's a play where, Vic has pretty much the entire left side of the court to himself, and he's got 5 defenders looking at him, right? And he throws a pass to the corner for Lindy Waters, who, as the defense is rotating, he sees Keldon Johnson in the dunker spot and just bounces him one, right? And in the last 2 games, the last 2 wins, I've seen the team doing a better job of this. I'm excited for that to increase as they get more reps in and, just practice that.
Well, this brings me to my final question for y'all. Look, cavalry's coming. Dylan Harper, he hasn't done any physical activity yet, but we finally saw Luke Cornett on questionable. De'Aaron Fox came back, first game back. Lindy Waters, I think, did a great job. Him and Carter Bryant yesterday. Did y'all see that chaos lineup that they brought out where it was like Wemby, Sohan, and Carter Bryant? I was just like, okay, good luck scoring. That was really fun. But look, we're at a 9-game sample size. I mean, this is like a pretty sizable here on a scale of 1 to 10. I mean, how legit are you guys thinking this current Spurs team is?
So with a 1 to 10, you have to give it. There's so many you can't just give it a even. You can't just be a straight number. It's got to be it's got to be a figure scale. That's the way I look at it because they're like a figure skater scale where they're just like.
I gave it a strong number.
I know you gave it a strong. But mine's like a decimal point, like 7.1. I feel like that's a great start. I'm like more of a 25 game sample size with De'Aaron Fox back, but what I've seen so far with this team being shorthanded, a few Wemby's a one-man band out there playing center, and so it's like I can't wait to get Cornette back. I will
not take the Jeremy Sohan small ball 5 slander here. So stand
I was
up.
about
We're
to
glad
say
to
with
see you.
with Jeremy getting obviously they're trying to bring him back in slowly with the Rockets game and then last night game you didn't see him in the fourth quarter too much. So they're trying to get him back slowly. Once these guys start gelling, it's going to be a lot higher than a 7.1. But I'm just being modest right now. 7.1. This is a fantastic start to the season. Fantastic. So I just want to put that out there.
What do you got, Tom?
6, 7.
You fucking
bro,
guy.
What the
You're
fuck?
too old for that. You can't do that.
Granted, I still don't know what that means.
You're too old for that.
I don't know what it means. I've had it explained to me by many different people. I don't know what it means.
You've been calling for undefeated this entire season. Now you're going 6, 7.
I know.
This guy.
Okay. Let me explain before you get all mad at me in my house. All right.
Gen Zero over here.
So I say that just in terms of what I've seen already. If we're talking about what I believe is going to happen this year, it's a much higher number, right? But in terms of what I've seen, it should make Spurs fans happy and make everybody else scared that it is like a not firing on all cylinders Spurs team that is out to this 7-2 start. That's what I'm saying, right? I firmly believe they're going to be a top 4 seed in the West through the year. Wemby started out interplanetary, and he's looked a little bit more like a human being in the last few games, and he might be a human being, right? So I'm there's still several pieces to click in for Wemby, and they also just got Fox back and have all of this. So I'm saying what I'm saying is that right now they haven't even scraped their full potential, and that should terrify teams. What
That's
about you?
fair. I'm going a strong 8 because with all those caveats that you said of had injuries, team hasn't, not every game has been just amazing or anything like that, but it's a young team. They're learning their ways. I'm very bullish with the way that they came back after one, just sleepaway game, and two, I don't even know what the Lakers game was, to be honest, but with that
It was the
being said,
worst game ever. That's what it was.
fair enough. Yeah. So I'm going with an 8, and I'm going to do a little Aaron trivia time with you guys again. There's only 2 teams that are in the top 6 in offensive and defensive rating. One of them is a team that we happen to cover. So that's, do you guys know what the second one is?
AB, I'm going to step out of this one because you told me this already, so it's be unfair of me to answer the question. I'll leave it to Tom.
It's got to be the Thunder, right?
Nuggets.
Really?
Yeah. So the Spurs and the Nuggets are the only teams right now in the league that have that. And look, everybody across the league is dealing with injuries. LeBron has not been playing for the Lakers. Jalen Williams still not playing for the Thunder. Trae Young just went out with the Hawks as well as Porzingis, and that team beat the Lakers last night. Everybody is dealing with injuries. Everybody deals with nicks and bruises through the league, through the season, I should say. And you got to play with who you got. And looking at those types of net ratings specifically for the team are indicative of success in the future. And we're looking good. I think there's a lot of things to be very stoked about going forward with this team. And speaking of going forward, let's just talk about what we got coming up this next week. Last week we had 4 games, which is really funny because in the first 2 weeks we had 5 games and then all of a sudden 4.
Yeah, throw it on you real quick.
This week's a little more manageable from a schedule standpoint. On Monday, we'll kick it off. We're playing the Bulls. This is probably one of the more interesting teams in the league, I'd say, right now. There's a lot of consternation on whether or not they're real or not. Josh Giddey got a little nicked up yesterday, but he did come back into the game.
Did you see how he got nicked up?
Well, it was his ankle, I believe.
But
right?
did you see how he rolled his ankle?
No, dude.
He got
I've gone
crossed
with-
over
brother.
so bad.
Oh, by
it
DeAndre
was a
Hunter.
legit
yeah.
ankle breaker.
Like
Yeah, I did see that.
It was.
crossover so bad that
He
it
was on the-
results in injury. Like obviously we're never gonna cheer on injuries on this show, but holy shit, that was funny.
It was an unbelievable crossover.
And he's
Yeah.
he's okay.
Anyways, carry on.
He's okay, and like, looking at the numbers, they are from like an offensive and defensive rating. They're pretty, they're honestly mid. They're like 13th and 14th respectively. Where they're getting teams though, and they haven't had any Kobe White. Shout out to Trey Jones. You are balling right now for the Bulls. And Matas Buzelis as well. They're a good team. One of the things though I'm gonna just give Vic some bulletin board material. Nikola Vucevic has gotten you a few times. All right, like last year in December, he scored 39 points on 72% shooting. Vooch plays pretty well against the Spurs team and against Vic. He has kind of one of those bodies again that we've seen him have trouble with in the past. So I do think the Spurs can win this game. It is going to be in Chicago. But, look, this is kind of another one of those legit teams. They did fall last night to the Cavs as well as to the Bucks. They lost to the Cavs last
Yeah, they
night,
lost
right?
the Cavs, yeah. I was
So
watching it.
there's a little... They're still figuring themselves out, but like Josh Giddey has been on a heater. I think he's like number 6 right now in MVP ranking. So what do you guys got on this one?
It's a fun road game in Chicago. Obviously, playing in Chicago means something to any NBA fan or any NBA player. You're playing in that arena that Michael built, so it's always got a little extra incentive. Last year, they let a game in Chicago late slip away. They were winning the whole game. They let the lead slip. Kobe White had his whatever, and we won't even go into that. But this is one of those games where this is a barometer test. Who are you? Where are you, and what do you plan on doing this season? It's a random one-off road game in the middle of the week, start the week. You've had 2 games at home. You've had 2 hard-fought games. Who are you? And like, what kind of, I guess, identity are you leaving to implement on this team or this league? Because this is one of those games where you got to go get it. It's one of those, hey, this team's good, you're good. Let's figure out who we are at the beginning of the season. You got De'Aaron back. Cornette should be back. So this should be you got some bigs coming back. You got your point guard there. So let's see what we got.
Oh, I should say my last thing that I'm concerned about with this game is their 3-point shooting. This reminds me a lot of Phoenix. They're 4th in attempts and 4th in makes. So like they're shooting hot from outside there.
Yeah, and the Vooch thing that you brought up is interesting. Former All-Star Vooch. The only reason I know that is because
You're a basketball sicko.
see, I'm a basketball sicko and also I'm stupid, right? And so when Top Shots were a thing, I got a playoff pack. Or no, it was an All-Star game pack, right? And it was like, man, I hope I get, LeBron or Luka or Jokic or someone crazy. Like I could flip this for a bunch of money.
Tom Petrini? Nope.
Big time nope. And it was Vooch. So Vic, I need you to do his ass for me. For that, I lost a lot of money on that deal. Yeah, and it'll be good to see Trey Jones, Zach Collins, who also went to the Bulls in that deal. He's been out with a wrist fracture. But Mitch was like, "Yeah, love those guys. It'll be good to see those guys. I hope they play awful on Monday." Yeah.
Like any true friend would say about another friend. when you're competing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I look forward to beating his
Yeah,
ass.
yeah.
Yeah, but Trey's been awesome. It's really, really, really cool to see him get this opportunity. And the thing, like you also mentioned, is he's doing it with some threes this year. That part of his game has gotten to the point where it's like, oh wow, this is a really good NBA
good to see.
player.
I'm stoked that Trey Jones has gotten some more national recognition being with the Bulls. Like, he was always a solid player. Like,
Always.
So And he was always just like a good finisher at the
Yep.
rim, especially for his size. So shout out to Trey Jones. Then look, we're double dipping for the week against the Warriors on a Wednesday night, and then we're going NBA Cup game on Friday against them before our next show. And look, this is the Last Dance Warriors. They're a particularly interesting team. They got Jimmy Butler, they got Steph Curry, they got Draymond Green, and then they have some guy named Brandon Podziemski who thinks that he's going to take the franchise over from Steph Curry. And you know what? We love that type of delusion from our professional basketball players. It makes them entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, look, they are actually on Wednesday going to be coming off a back-to-back against the Thunder.
Okay.
Pretty interesting there for them. One of the other things that I kept seeing when I was looking on StatMuse last night, they've only won the paint battle once this year against the team. Even in they're 5-5 as of this recording, so they haven't been bad. They haven't been great. They're like within the play-in race, but they're not in the playoff where they probably thought they would be. So I mean, I really do see this as like Wemby should eat. One of the other things to look at it, especially being a back-to-back, is like this is a Mitch Johnson, like Tom, to your point, like seeing adjustments and everything. I expect a win on Wednesday night just because the other team's coming on a back-to-back and it's going to be in home. But that Friday night game, that I think is going to be the real special one to see of like what adjustments are made and who starts the fight first, Jeremy Sohan or Draymond Green.
And Friday's the second game's the cup game.
Yep.
Yep.
Respect Cup. This cup group is somebody told Vic that they were calling
That
this
was
group the
hilarious.
group of death, and he was like, oh really?
He was like, I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
He said we're good in the NBA Cup Group C.
Oh, no, do that. John Morant still has recovered from that.
John Moran, that's a whole other podcast for a whole other day. But yeah, in both of these games, like you said, they were 5-5. I honestly you could have told me they were 6-3. You could have told me they were 3-6. You could have told me that actually they were undefeated and I knew it was just the Thunder and the Spurs for a minute there, but you could have told me that and I would have believed it. And in any of these points, I don't care what their record is, they are dangerous because they got that guy Steph Curry.
Yep.
Defense has to breathe and rotate, and you have to be inside of his jersey for 36 minutes of game time or however long he's out there on the court. Watching Fox and Steph Castle do this, I think will be a real treat for basketball fans.
Watching Fox,
He
takes the Warriors games personally with some of those battles from Sacramento. So I think he's going to bring
The
it.
other thing with Fox is he's huge.
Yeah.
He's not 6 foot tall.
Wemby has sort of, I think, destroyed a lot of things in my brain, but one of them is like perception of height, and you're like, oh yeah, De'Aaron Fox, 6'3". I think he's like 6'5" in shoes.
Yeah.
I think they're lying about 6'3". I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody of lying, but
we're doing this again.
6'3" seems low, and he plays bigger than that, and his arms are so long, and he's like freaky fast Jimmy Johns.
Yeah.
So, man, that's going to be a fun matchup.
What do you got on this one, Zach?
We've heard that Al Horford doesn't play in back-to-backs, so I'm curious to see. He'll obviously play on the Friday game. I'm curious to see which game he plays in, Tuesday or Wednesday. I would imagine he plays against the NBA champions and then sits against the Spurs on Wednesday, so that's another one-up the Spurs have. The Spurs should eat in the paint this game, but once again, you mentioned the Bulls and how they shoot threes. Well, same thing with the Warriors. I'm really curious to see how this team does with this is a good opportunity to work on the perimeter defense and to figure out where we need to get better and how to get better and to see if they've improved from that Suns loss. Because I know that's been eating at them.
It's an excellent week for practice on your perimeter defense this week.
And so there won't be a lot of. Let's hope they funnel things into the paint and keep things into the paint and not let things get kicked out like we've noticed when teams get So I'm excited. This should be a good matchup. Wednesday they're wearing the Fiesta colors. So prepare yourself for that. The jersey and the court will be on debut. And then Friday, we will be getting another new court, obviously, with the Cup. So this is a week of fun courts, fun jerseys, and fun basketball.
Do you guys like the gray on gray?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fucking nice.
Yeah.
It looks great on TV. Honestly, every response you see on TV, which is like you're watching the game differently, it's like it looked good.
The Amazon broadcast is fantastic.
The Amazon. Well, we touched on Dirk Nowitzki broke down how Wemby needs to get out on plays, and
Udonis has it.
there you go.
We did it!
Let's go.
Oh, man. Okay. Man.
Like they haven't
Fuck,
done it
yo,
yet. We
fuck
did it.
yeah.
Let's
Fuck
go.
yeah. That's awesome.
That's good setup.
Let's go.
Dude. Hell yeah, man.
The 3-man weave right there, baby.
That's the most pure expression of joy that we've had on
Tom's
this
ass
show
just
in
lit up
weeks.
when Zach mentioned that. I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do
Let's
this.
go, baby.
I was
I
like,
knew what I was doing.
It's like the buzz in the arena when the ball's swinging around and you know it's getting to Vic and he's wide open, you know?
Yeah, man.
Good. Good stuff.
Amazing. All
That's-
right. What do
Now
y'all
this is podcast.
what do y'all got for the week?
2-1.
You going 2-1?
See, I written down 2-1,
Oh,
but
he's
now
gonna-
that we talked about it,
Now you're
The
fucking
Udonis
hyped.
has Udonis Haslem was mentioned. Now he's juiced.
you know what? I'll ride the light and give me 3-0,
Oh,
baby. Give me 3-0.
Tom, I'm joining you.
Woo!
I'm going 3-0 this week. I think we're gonna be 3-0 this week.
All right.
I'm feeling it, and with that,
Yeah.
look, end of another episode, and we'll be back ahead of the Sacramento Kings game. Thank you guys for tuning in, liking, subscribing. Once again, if you've made it this far, there's a really sick interview coming up later this week,
Oh, you're gonna love it.
and
That
and
doesn't
if you're a
do, that
Spurs
doesn't do
fan-
it justice.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
that-
put it this
well,
way.
Let's let the work speak for itself.
There you
We
go.
will. I will say I've been wanting to do this particular interview for, I don't know, 10 years, for as long as I've been a professional writer, at least an
There
aspiring
is.
one.
I have a tweet from I looked it up. I have a tweet from 2017 when I was doing my previous podcast saying that I want somebody on this podcast, and so I have been itching for 8 years to get him on. So it's great. Or
Well,
her, or
look,
it, whoever you
Hey,
want to.
hey, well, with that, we're just going to leave it there, fellas. Go Spurs, go. We'll see y'all later this week. Take care of each other and have a good one. Peace.